And we're live. I apologize for the actually terrible lighting. um, it's dark now, so the lighting is just generally just going to be awful all the time. But yes, welcome to the Home to the Wild release day live stream. We're going to be in a mix of emotions from excitement because my debut novel is out in the world right now. What the fuck? But also sheer anxiety because my debut novel is out in the world right now and there is a lot of terrible things that happened in the lead up to its release. So we're going to be talking about a few things like that and just celebrating it all. We've got copies in the background, we've got character art in the background from Suzanne Art on Instagram, and just get a little. Oh, hold on, we've got a few people popping up. Hello, hello, hello. And yeah, we've got a proper copy. This is actually a proper copy because the ones in the back here, for anyone who may have been following me on social media, are the ones that had what I call defective content in the sense that it printed wrong. Firstly, my fault. Secondly, then the company's fault. But thankfully, I now have a proper copy that is correct, and this is the one that is out in the world right now on all ebook platforms, paperback platforms, and yeah, so it's out in the world. And hi, Christina, thank you for popping in. And yeah, I mean, just firstly, can we just appreciate how good this cover art is? This was Arthur. Oh God, I'm going to say it name. I'm going to say it wrong. Arthur Bowling III. I'm sorry, who did the artwork for this and is also doing the artwork for all the other covers. It's been a long, stressful day, guys. For all of the novel covers, and it just looks amazing. And then it just got this back. Yeah, look, it's my face. It's my face on the back here. That's amazing. And yeah, there's just. I'm very excited. I still kind of want to throw up a little bit, but all the same, it's here. It's queer. Like me, fun times. Oh God, this is already really awkward, isn't it? But if you've got any questions about the book, be sure to drop them. I don't know if I'll do this for very long because I'm still kind of like in that stressed anxiety headspace. But we're just gonna do what we're gonna do. And yeah, I'll come up with a few of my own questions and see how it be going. I'm just gonna let a few more people know about what's occurring. And then hopefully hold on. From Raphael, check out Ironwood and Zachary Ying. From Siren J. Zhao. Yes, no, I know. I've read both of those books actually, and I absolutely love Siren. I love their channel, I love their content, and the books are very good. Thank you for the recommendation for the same. Actually, I haven't fully read Zachary Ying yet because it hasn't arrived, but I will be. I've just had all of this to deal with, so I've not been able to catch up with all my writing. I also just want to give a mini shout out to Sarah Sutton, who is another author tuber here on YouTube, who also had a release this week for their 8th novel called Teaching the Teacher's Pet. If you like teen romance, check them out. Support Sarah as well, and obviously support Home to the Wild also. And yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that has been going on this week. I won't share the full story yet because this is definitely going to be a thing. Like if I ever do really well as an author, it's going to be like one of those funny stories that I got to tell. Yeah, right now I'm not going to share the whole story because it's very raw. I know for a fact if I share the traumatic adventures, oh, hold on. Liking in the background, huge congrats, you did it. Yeah, I did, and yes, thank you. We've got Kiba, who, if you guys are reading, you will find out who Kiba is. We've got Ray, who you will meet straight away, and then we've got Larka here. Oh no, Larka you're going to meet straight away. Ray you're going to meet eventually, but yes. And obviously I've got all my books here as well. There will be more copies eventually. I just don't have that many at the moment in the background. But yeah, there's just, you know what, let's just dive into just a few different things. So Home to the Wild is the first full novel in the Into the Wild series. You all may remember I did like a release party and stuff for the short story, which is like the prequel setup short story called Echoes of the Past, which is set 3 years before this novel. It's not an essential read, but if you want to get context, you can indeed. Christina, Larka is absolutely the best. Yes, she is. I adore her. And if, yeah, you'll see it in the ebook as well. I dedicated the book to my mother, citing her as my very own Larka, in this motherly figure sense. And yeah, so Home to the Wild is the first proper novel, set 3 years after Echoes of the Past. Again, Echoes of the Past, not essential read, but if you like extra wolf stuff, you can indeed do so. And yeah, so Home to the Wild follows a little one who is a young human girl who has been abandoned in this forest in an ambiguous location. This is the thing I've done very deliberately in my books, is that I've made the location very ambiguous. Like you could read it as like America, Canada, England. Basically, you could read it as anywhere. I like reference some places, but I reference lots of different places in different countries. So you never actually know where the book is being taking place. And I do that deliberately because I don't like tying myself down to one location. And I like making things difficult for myself by trying to remember that I can't give specific locations. But it's for entertainment purposes, so that's all that matters. And yeah, so there is quite a lot of stuff that happens in this. As you can see, you've got a little one on the front here with Laka, and they've got a few other wolf cubs here. And yeah, like even I put it on the back of the paperback here as well. If you are a fan of Tarzan or Call of the Wild or White Fang, even like the that classic DreamWorks film Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron Herd, that is the vibes that you are going to be getting from Home to the Wild, and it is exactly the thing that I was aiming for the most, because I've probably mentioned it here at some point. I came up with Home to the Wild while I was high on morphine after having spinal surgery about nearly a decade ago. It won't be, it's about 9 years this year it'll be. But yeah, nearly a decade ago, I came up with the idea of this story. And it spanned from what was once originally a very dark story to a fun found family trope fest with queer undertones and queer overtones later on. And it's going to be a trilogy with 4 short stories set around the books as well. And I still kind of can't believe that this is in my hands. I can't believe that this thing that I've been working on for so long is actually here. It is actually out in the world. People are reading it and enjoying it, and it's just wild. It's it's wild. And I don't know, it's just weird to me. I don't really know how to feel. I had this a little bit with Echoes of the Past, which is like obviously the previous short story, but not to this extent. I'm definitely having more of like a life crisis of some kind, knowing that this is out in the world, because this is my heart and soul. It's truly my heart and soul. I've been writing, so obviously we had the pandemic between, but I have been writing this since 2019. Struggled a lot during the pandemic with continuing to writing and working on it and revising it. And it's all come to fruition and is now this. And it's just, it's mad. I'll probably do like a little reading of the first chapter, like a little while later. apparently I just need to get over my own starstruckness about this, because I don't know, it's just all the time, all the effort, all the stress, all the anxiety, all the hysterical sobbing, especially from this week, has all come in the form of this being out in the world right now. So whether you're an ebook user or paperback reader, you can get Home to the Wild on whatever platform you use best. And hopefully you enjoy it. I think that's the main thing here. I just really hope people enjoy it. Like, even if you don't, this is the whole thing, you don't even have to like it, which sounds like really bad marketing from me, that you don't have to like my book. But I just hope that people enjoy it or feel something about it. Even if it's hatred, you felt something. I made you feel something. That's all that matters to me, is that I've made people feel something about my work. I don't know. There's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of feelings. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. It's just, God, I'm like tongue-tied at the moment. I just don't know how to feel, which is strange for me, because I usually can't shut up about how I'm feeling. But here we are. I am starstruck by my own situation. I am. I literally have no idea what to say or what to do. What can I even? I can talk about loads of things, but I at the same time can't even get myself to talk right now. Oh, sorry, I was in my own world and just saw a message. So far, I really do enjoy it. Something about it feels very homely and genuine. Oh, that is really nice to hear. Oh, that is really nice to hear. Oh my gosh. That does make me happy. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you are enjoying it. That is definitely kind of the feels that I wanted for it, just because like it's meant to be this sort of, it is a family story in a sense, and I'm glad that kind of homely feel of like being part of this family and kind of getting to know them is something something I really wanted people to kind of get out of this, because like family is like a huge part of this story. Like obviously it's a found family trope situation, and I don't know, it's just, that was definitely something I worried a lot about, that I wasn't kind of going to get these characters being engaging enough in some way, because obviously they're engaging to me because I've been living with them for 2019, 2020. For 4 years, I've been living with these characters. And so obviously, I very much enjoy them. I very much like them. I know everything about them. But to know now, the people who, like, I've had a few messages from people already just talking about how much they're enjoying it. And to know that you think it feels very homely and genuine, that's just a really nice, that's a really nice thing to hear. And I'm so pleased to hear it. And oh God. Wow. Oh God. I'm like in a melancholy phase right now. I don't even know what's happening. Oh dear. This is crazy. This is definitely crazy. Mad wild. It's just, sorry, I'm telling more people about this just because like I realized I did not announce that I was doing this like anywhere. It just kind of happened. I'm still kind of like in the anxiety stage, not even about like people reading it. Like I'm still obviously in that situation, but with the huge trauma that I went with this week of dealing with like misprints and not being able to know whether or not things had actually been fixed by the time stuff had, like I only found out today that things were sorted with at least the Amazon paperbacks. I have no idea about anyone else anywhere else right now, so that's actually the thing I'm going to put here right now. If you want a paperback, currently hold off until Tuesday, when I'll know for sure if buying them from non-Amazon places is okay, because I won't find out until Monday. which is very annoying, and it's also my own fault because I didn't rush order the post, basically, because I'm dumb and cheap because I have no money. So still very stressed about that one thing, but ebooks are good. Amazon paperbacks are good. That's the extent of what I can deal with right now. And yeah, it's just it's good to know that at least some things are working out all right. It's just that's one final thing that I need to work through, and it will be all good. Yeah, by the way, if anyone has any questions to do with the book, you can drop them just in the comments as well and just ask me about it. I'm going to look up a few things of like questions to ask authors about their book, because I can't think of anything to say to you guys. I should have thought this through a little bit, shouldn't I? You'd think I would have gotten this down a little bit because this is my second release date situation. But really, I did also advertise that I was doing that sooner. So this is my own fault. And admittedly, the only reason why I didn't advertise it is because I had no idea if things were actually going to be working out. So, oh God, why are there so many questions here? Let's not do that. I don't, 101 questions. Let's not do that. Okay. Okay, let's do this. What part of Home to the Wild did I find the hardest to write? Oh, okay. I'm not going to give any spoilers, by the way, because obviously I can't. It literally came out today. I cannot give out any spoilers whatsoever. But I think the hardest part to write for me, just from an emotional perspective, is that what I'll call like the difficult times. So as you may have seen, so that I've given content warnings for this book, which is that this work contains depictions of child abuse, animal death, animal cruelty, and depression. So some of those things there are kind of already going to give some aspects for the things that I found to have difficulty with, basically. And it was those scenes specifically that I didn't have difficulty writing, so to speak, but I did have difficulty in the sense of wanting to make sure it was right and it wasn't like trauma porn or exploitative or anything like that, that it fit the narrative as it was meant to, that the storyline worked with what was happening, and just kind of making sure that my readers felt something. Whether or not I did that is the question, but that's what I'm hoping I did. I'm hoping that people feel something when those situations are happening. But it was getting that feeling and writing that and kind of getting it correct was the struggle part. And kind of the opposite of that is what part of the book was the most fun to write. Anything to do with Little One and Ray. Literally their sister bond was probably the best thing I got to write, because I have a sister, I love her to death. She's also a pain in the ass a lot of times, but like she's still my sister. And kind of like the vibes that Ray and Little One have together as a couple, as a pair of sisters, it was just a lot of fun to write, and I really enjoyed having the opportunity to kind of present sibling love and sibling support and dynamics and stuff in a way that I haven't done before in previous works, but it's just something I like doing. I just like presenting family units. And also shout out to my sister, Melissa, by the way. Not only is she expecting a kid, which like kudos, I guess, she has also been super supportive of me this week with like all the stress and drama of everything that's been going on. She's basically been like the Ray to my yeah, I guess I'm the little one, I guess. She's just been really supportive, so I really appreciate that from her. But yeah, Ray and Little One have their interactions and their scenes together are just like my favorite things to write. And also just the introduction of Kiba. And I say no more on that. You all will understand when you meet Kiba. From Christina, how hard was it to get inside the head of the wolves and write from their perspective? Not as hard as I thought it was going to be, which is going to sound super weird. I think the only thing that I found somewhat difficult was trying to figure out how they would describe something from a wolf perspective. So I have at the start of the book the wolf to human language connection. So I have things, so they track days by the passing of the sun or the rising of the moon. So many suns or many moons is many days. Moon cycle is 1 month. Night lights are stars. Savage blood is rabies. Season is 1 year and stuff like that. So kind of like working things out from how they would describe things in their own sense. That was hard, trying to come up with things that made sense, because there was, in the early drafts, a lot of the comments I got from my early readers was, I have no idea what you're trying to say here. So making sure that I actually used terminology that we as people would understand, but would also make sense for a wolf to think of things like that. But other than just kind of like basic terminology, it was surprisingly and weirdly easy to write from a wolf's perspective. It actually, so I'm writing book, well, I've written book 2 already, and it went pretty well. Like, I think it's with my second round of readers at the moment, but book 2 was a lot harder to write because there's like, I'm writing from like a very human perspective in that second book, which was so much harder. It was easier to write from a wolf's perspective than it was from a human's perspective. And that is kind of hilarious to me. I find it easier to write from an animal's perspective than a human's. That's just amusing to me. But yeah, so it was not too hard, and surprisingly so, and somewhat concerningly so. But it was a lot of fun, actually. I did really enjoy writing from an animal's perspective. And I hope that this is the whole thing. I kind of want to do it more, like write more stories from like an animal-ish perspective to see kind of how it goes. Though I have no ideas on how to do it, but we'll come up with something eventually, I'm sure. Another question from from the website that I'm looking at: which of the characters do I relate to the most, and why? Probably Little One, because I have a lot of self-doubt. And I struggle a lot with feeling like I belong in certain places, which obviously is the whole premise of this book, is her not feeling like she belongs. And that's definitely something that I struggle with a lot. So I was recently diagnosed with autism. I've undergone treatment for PTSD and trauma and stuff like that. So I have like a lot of things that make me stand out from my family. And so there are always moments where I feel like I don't fully belong to my own family. Like, even though I know biologically I am part of the family and, they love me as a family member, there's a part of me that always like wonders, what if I'm actually not? There are so many things different about me. What if I'm actually not that kid? Like, there are moments where I question the validity of my relationship to my family. And that's something that Little One struggles a lot with in the book. Because obviously she's human, they're wolves. She looks very different to how they do. She lives life very differently to how they do. The thing that I would love to gain from Little One as a character is kind of her courage a little bit. Like, you'll see in the early parts of the book is that even though she knows she's different, she finds ways to use that to her advantage to a degree. And she just has so much belief in herself that I wish I had in myself as a person and as a writer. And I don't know, there's just something I really love about her character, which sounds like I'm bigging myself up, but I guess technically I am. But it's just something I just really enjoy about her, is that, and I guess it's like the sort of like the author writing thing, that Little One has the strength of character that I wish I had. So I kind of superimposed that wish onto her. And yeah, I don't know, it was nice. And yeah, I don't know, it was just, yeah, Little One is definitely the sort of character that I enjoyed writing the most and kind of seeing myself in the most. Oh God, I'm sat on a seat that's very uncomfortable. I'm just looking for more questions. Are there any good questions? No, none of those are good. If anyone has any, please send, because I'm so bad at coming up with things to say. What inspired the idea of my book? Morphine. Sorry, that's actually a good question. What inspired the idea of your book? Literally, it was just a morphine-induced nightmare originally, which seems to surprise people when I brought this up. It was a nightmare that led to the initial idea of this book, like a horrifying nightmare that had me like jolting awake. Which is why, like I mentioned previously, the original story for Home to the Wild, which wasn't called that at the time, was so much darker than what it's ended up being, which is like it's sad in some areas, and obviously the content warnings show a sort of image for it, but it's a lot more lighthearted than what the original premise was. But yeah, it was literally the inspiration came from like a morphine-induced nightmare, which is very, very funny. How much research did I need to do for my book? Not as much as I think. I feel like I should have done more, if I'm honest. Because like I already have like a base knowledge of wolves, but I feel like I should have done more, because I definitely, the thing that I know I fucked up in immediately, and it was like basically the moment I finished the book, was I was like, wait, wolves don't have blue eyes. I've given Ray blue eyes. And like immediately I was like, shit. All like all the wolf charities and all like the wolf stands are gonna hate me for that. And I kind of hate me for that, because that was like this common base knowledge. And like I feel like I knew in the back of my mind, but at the same time I was like, aesthetic. Aesthetic outdoes science any day, apparently, for me. And it was kind of funny. But yeah, that was the thing that I noticed, and I was like, if I had done a little bit more research, I would have probably known that a little bit more in the forefront of my mind, that Ray can't have blue eyes because she is a wolf, and wolves don't have blue eyes. But it's happened now, and it makes her stand out. So it kind of worked in the end. I think I mentioned that before. Would I and my main character get along? Probably not, because she's a kid. I don't really like kids. It's okay. It's not that I don't like kids. It's more we don't understand each other, and so she wouldn't like me. I probably wouldn't like her. I'd like it. It's like she'd be cool, but yeah, she's also a child. So, sorry, I've just seen the question from August Che. Just joined, so don't know if anyone asked, but favorite point of view to write from? So there are 4 point of view characters in this first book. I won't mention any of the ones from book 2 or 3, but my favorite POV character to write from, I think, was probably Ray. I think it's Ray. Yeah. Just Ray is just such an interesting character to me, because she's just such a badass. I adore her so much. Like the passion and love that she has for her sister and for her pack, and the things that she does to protect both. I just love that about her. And she deserves the world. She's also the sort of person who's like very no nonsense. So she was similar to her mother in some ways, but also very much her own person. So it was just a lot of fun writing from her perspective, like kind of seeing her grow as a character as well. It's like the POVs with how I start writing. She's not like old, but she's like in like her early years. And then as the POVs go on, she gets a little bit older. So seeing that transition, writing from that perspective for the different ages, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed writing from Ray's point of view specifically. But they were all kind of fun. I think the one I struggled with the most was Little One. But I got better at it eventually. From Ramin, hello. I am good, or at least I'm doing better. I mentioned near the start, had some problems with the release of stuff for the book, but it is somewhat okay now. But anxiety levels, like let's pretend this is a line. This is like the highest, this is the lowest. I'm like here, so I'm still a midway point, but I'm doing better. Thank you for asking. Much appreciated. Just looking at more questions to answer. What is my? No, that's not an interesting. Oh, okay. This is an interesting question. If you were to write a spin-off about a side character, which would you pick? Okay, so technically, I already did this. In the sense that Echoes of the Past, I wrote after Home to the Wild, and it is about Echo, who is Larka, who's the mother, and like leader of the pack. Her, I was about to say husband, her mate, but technically it is also kind of like a husband. That's set 3 years before, so technically I already did that. I think going off just from Home to the Wild itself, if I was to write a story, a spin-off about a side character, I would probably pick Hi the Cougar. And I'm not going to say why, because spoilers, as River Song would say. But he was a very interesting character to kind of write and present. And I do feel like I needed to do more for his character. So if I could write a spin-off, I would do it about him to present more. But also Sky. Their names are very similar sounding. It's either Hi or Sky. Or maybe both. You know what? It's time to write fan fiction. I'm going to write fan fiction about Hi and then another one for Sky. Because I have nothing better to do, apparently. But yeah, there's a lot that I could cover with those two characters, I think. This isn't related to my book, but it's a fun question. If I could spend a day with another popular author, who would I choose? Oh, I was about to have... No, I'm going to... Gracie Kim. She is the writer of The Last Fallen Star, or the Gilded Clan series, which is part of Rick Ronan Presents. I did an interview with her here on the channel like last year, I think. I adore her. She is absolutely lovely. She's like breath of fresh air to the soul. And I would love to spend a day with her, just like picking her brain, just learning about her past. She would like join the circus at one point, or nearly join the circus. Like, she just sounds awesome. Question. If you would write a story from the perspective of another animal, what would it be? Oh, that's a good question. Possibly a fox. And I know that's just very similar to a wolf, but possibly either a fox or a cougar, just because they feature a lot in this book in general. But like, if I was to write another one, I think foxes are probably the closest thing I would do. Because similar-ish to wolves, but also there's a lot of differences, because foxes are more scavengers than hunters, and have like rivalries with wolves. So it'd be interesting to write from a different perspective in that sense. So yeah, probably a fox if it was another animal. Maybe a dog as well if I wanted to go more like homegrown, like a dog or a cat. Probably more a cat, because I'm more chill. I feel like if I was writing from a dog's perspective, everything would just be high energy all the time. And I could not cope with that. The Gifted Clan series is great. Yes, it is. I love Gracie. I love her work. I'm very excited for the next book. But that was a fun question. Both of those were fun questions. What is my schedule like when writing a book? I try to draft a book in under 2 months, because I'd like to get things done quickly, because I'm also the sort of person who cannot revise solely off of my own thoughts. I have to get early readers in, like almost immediately once things are done, to get their feedback, so I can then revise it and improve it and then move it forward. So I like to get things written out in under 2 months. I can't always do it because like life is crazy, but so far it's not been too bad. The only ones that have led to not that possibility, ironically enough, was Home to the Wild in the first place, because pandemic, anxiety, trauma, and the one that I was writing recently, which was a spy romance, and it was because all of the drama that was happening with Home to the Wild and also a book of mine that's coming out next year with a publisher. So it was very difficult. So that unfortunately did fall on the back burner. From August, a story from a susceptible cat would be Eat, Sleep. That's my cat's life. Yes. And also just chaos, like fighting with the neighborhood cats as well, probably. That's what the cats in my neighborhood do. But yeah, my schedule is actually under 2 months draft, a month and a half for early readers, revise in a month, next month and a half, next round of readers, revise in a month, final check for myself, editor. Or at least that's how I'm aiming it to be. Sometimes it doesn't always hit it, but usually it's from like outside perspective, so it's not usually kind of my fault. Sometimes it is, like in this case of the romance I was working on, because chaos reigned, because I did not work things out properly with this, in the sense that I left things a little bit too late for my own comfort, which was fully my fault, and I fully take responsibility for that. But let's have a look at some other questions. Oh, if my book was made into a movie, which actors would play your characters? I actually have this all fully planned out already. So if Home to the Wild and the Into the Wild series was made into a film, it was made into movies, it would be movies, it would not be a TV show, just because I don't think it would work as a TV show based on the format of the storytelling. But it would have to be an animated movie straight off the bat. Like, there is no way it could work as a live action due to the fact that the other one is like 2 at the start of the book. So having a 2-year-old with wolves and communicating with wolves, like verbally communicating sentences, but not sentences straight away, but like enough to understand, that can't work in live action. So I've just seen Air Master Parker. Hello, hi. But yes, it would be an animated movie, 100% in the style of like Studio Ghibli sort of stuff. Not even Studio Ghibli, but if anyone has seen Wolf Children, that is a vibe. I would love to direct it. I would hire you in an instant. But the cast that I would love, I've already laid them out. I would have Embeth Davids as Larka. So Embeth Davids is the person who plays Miss Honey in Matilda. And it is because she played Miss Honey that she would have to be Larka, because the Miss Honey vibe is very much like what Larka is like. I would love to be a voice actress from Christina. You can be one of the extra wolves, 100%. But yeah, so Embeth Davids as Larka, Chloe Grace Moretz as Ray. And if you don't know her, she was in Kick-Ass, and she was in other things. I can't think of anything else that she's been in. I would then have Jordan Fisher as Kiba, and I would have Daniel Day Kim as Echo, because that deep voice is 100% what I need for Echo. I didn't do like a casting for Little One or anything like that, because I couldn't think of anyone who could do like those super young voices for like a child, beyond a child, and I couldn't find any like child actors that would work. But there's probably someone out there. But yeah, so I've technically already done like a fan casting and thought of like if my book was ever made into a film. Yeah, animation, Wolf Children sort of visuals, and basic ideas for casting. Either way, like I need Embeth Davids. Like out of all of them, Embeth Davids is the one that I desperately need to be to be Larka. Like that is the one casting where I'm like 100% I need this person. Just because they would be perfect. Oh yeah, for Little One, sorry, to Emma Master Parker just said, for the Little One voice acting, it could be a new talent. Yes, I'm also open to that. A lot of new talent, I'm down for that too. But yeah, I've thought very far ahead of all these things. But someone's just said I need to watch Wolf Children so bad. It's a very good film. It is actually kind of similar in vibe to Home to the Wild. Obviously not werewolves, but it's similar in vibe for like family, a mother who like gives up so much to her kids. The sibling vibes are also there. They're different to what they are in Home to the Wild, but they're just as strong, and they kind of show how different like siblings are to each other. And I don't know, that is 100% the vibe in this as well. It's not family because obviously they are actually like family. Although obviously they are family in this too. But yeah, very similar in vibes and esque. And yeah, there's just I've thought so much about things in future stuff, which possibly also just makes sense as to why things went tits up for me, because I was too busy focusing on other things. Just looking at the questions. Blah, blah, blah. How many hours do I write in a day? That's not interesting because I have no answer for that. Oh God, there are no more questions about writing. This is not helpful. Has writing and publishing a book changed the way you see yourself? Yes, actually, publishing Home to the Wild and writing it and working on it has showed how much more, not even how much more, how easily distressed I can be. Admittedly, for good reason in the case of this, because things went tits up so quick. And like, I had less than 3 days to fix it all, and it was horrifying. And like it led to like my parents had to come home from holiday. They had to come home from holiday. I was so distressed. They weren't abroad, obviously. We can't afford that. But yeah, so the fact that but I didn't really deal with it at all. I got this copy came today of the corrected version of the book, and I immediately went and threw up. I was like the release of stress of seeing the correct book led to me having to go be sick. But sorry, that was a lot of information that you guys did not need. From Emma, do you think you will be able to translate it to Spanish or Portuguese? I obviously wouldn't be because I unfortunately do not speak those languages. But there is ways for things like that to happen. I think you usually have to be approached by like a translating company. Like if it's basically if your book does really well, you'll often be approached by translation companies where you'll be given like a cut of the profit or something like that. I don't think I would reach out to anyone because like I'd be concerned about accidentally kind of like choosing the wrong people. But yeah, I think that there's like sometimes you're reached out to. I know Courtney from the Courtney Project here on YouTube, her books have been translated into lots of different languages, and from what she mentioned, like they were contacted by these translation companies who would basically do the work for them, and they would just like split up cuts or something like that. But hopefully maybe one day we'll see. I guess it will fully depend on how well the book does. Because I think that's the same even with traditional publishing. It depends on how well the book does, whether or not it'll be published in different translations of different languages. So we shall see. But fingers crossed. That'd be very cool if I could get it translated into other languages. I do also, just in that vein for translations, it's not even connected, but somewhat. There was a question given to me by my folks over on my Discord server, which is linked below, by the way, if anyone wants to join, about whether or not an audiobook will be coming. Now, it will eventually be coming. The audiobook, I want audiobooks so bad. The only problem is they are freaking expensive. And also, I have no idea what to do with them. So the problem with that would literally just be figuring out how to do it, how to release it, and also finding the money for it. I am considering setting up a Kickstarter page to do so. But whether or not that works is another issue. But hopefully it'll be fine. But I already know which company I would go to get it done. I already know which audiobook narrator I would go to get it done by them. So like I have basically everything lined up for the possibility of an audiobook. It's literally just the finances. So it'll end up being, if this book does well and like all the things afterwards and stuff, hopefully I'll be able to get some more finances to either start up a Kickstarter or just invest in it. Because the whole thing is, I am not working at the moment. I have no income coming in except for Patreon, which, by the way, if you sign up to my Patreon, that'll help a lot. And little bits here on YouTube and on my merch store. So I have like less than £60 a month coming in at the moment. And a lot more going out. So at the moment, audiobooks and stuff like that is things that I can't really consider doing, I guess is the way to say it. But or at least consider for the meantime. But it's something I would really love to get done in future. So hopefully I will be able to. It's just a matter of finance. So it will be the similar situation with translations as well. Parker is just saying I can help translate to Spanish. It would be my first time though. That's fair enough. We shall discuss and see how that works out. But yeah, there's like a lot of stuff to kind of think about with these things. And just there's just so much to think. Like I knew how complicated obviously writing a book was, but also the complications of getting it out there and the work to produce it and the work to get it all done and get it out there is just, it's just a lot. Like I was already stressed. Obviously this current week has just made it so much worse because of all the complications with Amazon and possibly other places, which again I won't be able to confirm until Monday, which but yeah, there is a lot. But it's here. All my hard work is here, and it's just it's something that I am so grateful to be able to have out there, to know that there are people who are going to be enjoying it. From Parker. I have to leave and congratulations on the release of the book. I can't wait to buy it as soon as possible. Thank you so much, Parker. I hope you enjoy it. I hope everyone who's reading it is enjoying it as well. As I was saying before, literally, I don't even care if people hate it in the end. As long as it's kind of making you feel something, that is all that matters to me in the end. Because like I want to know that my book is making people feel something, even if it's hatred. Because like you're feeling something. I think the worst thing I could ever imagine for like the feedback of my book is that it just like you just didn't feel anything about it. It was like I can't even think, like what's the word I want to use? I can't think of the right word. But yeah, not feeling anything about it would probably be the worst thing in the world for me to hear from people. I don't know. It's a crazy feeling. And the whole thing is just, I don't know, it's amazing to think about that 4 years that's it, yeah. Feeling meh about this would be the worst feeling in the world. Anything about like hatred, enjoyment, anything like that is good. Meh, I would be devastated. So as long as no one feels meh about Home to the Wild, I've made it. That's like the thing here. As long as people feel something, I'll feel good. Which, by the way, if you guys do finish this in the meantime, be sure to leave reviews on wherever you've purchased it, whether it be Kindle or Kobo or anything like that. Well, obviously Amazon, stuff like that. I'll be sure to leave a review there. And also then head over to Goodreads, which is linked below. Add it to your want to read or currently reading list, and then leave a review, because that would be really, really appreciated, because that is a way for more people to find out about this book, and to push me to getting a further move on with the sequel, Way of the Wild. From Christina, pretty sure no one will feel mad about this. That is very nice to hear. Fingers crossed. That is definitely the situation. I'm hoping no one feels mad. And it's good to know from someone that no one will. So fingers crossed. And I really do hope that people enjoy it. Because this was so much fun to write. Like, there are moments where, like, it's not like it wasn't hard to write. It was hard to revise. And they're actually, I haven't got a link below, but I'm actually going to be releasing bonus scenes of things that didn't make it into the final cut of the book, basically. It's like a director's cut, but for a book, where those bonus scenes that they're not edited, they're like the early stupid drafts, that I'll be putting up on my fanfiction page on Archive of Our Own. I'll link it in my Discord server at some point. So again, if you haven't joined my Discord server and would like that stuff, linked below. Of these bonus early scenes with Little One, Ray, and Larka, of basically teaching Little One how to be a wolf. Those were really fun scenes to write, but like, it just dragged out the pacing of the first part of the book. So that's why they got cut in the end. But I'm releasing them on Archive of Our Own because I thought bonus material for people, and I did enjoy those scenes, even if they couldn't make it into the final cut of the book. I did enjoy them, so I want people to read them eventually. So I'm saying the word a lot. I don't know how to feel. I'm in a state of confusion. Oh God. Yeah, there's just, I'm in what was the phrase? I'm in a silly, goofy mood. Because I am. Everything is just, I feel like I'm drunk, but I don't drink. So actually, hold on. I do need to hydrate though. Hold on. Oh no. I just spilled that all over myself. I literally just spilled water all over myself. How the hell did I do that? I've got no tissues either. Well, we're just going to have to deal with being soaked by water. Oh no, I got some of that on here. Got some of it on the book. Crap. It's okay. I'm gonna put that further away though, because I am dangerous. I've got another copy here. But a drunk on achievement from August here. Yeah. Drunk on achievement. I think it's still the after effects of the adrenaline from earlier of receiving the correct copy after getting all these wrong ones and like 10 other wrong ones. Oh my God. Shall I tell? Yeah, I'll tell the story now. So I didn't think to check, because I'm dumb, to make sure that everything was correct and final and brilliant for the last bit before like doing an early publish. And I got my author copies on the Tuesday of this week, or the week just gone at least, which would be the 16th. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I've got my author copies. Flicked through it, looked at chapter 8, and saw that chapter 8, which was a chapter from Larka's perspective, was saying it was from Ray's perspective. And then for 6 chapters, so from chapter 8 to chapter 12, it was all the wrong POV titles. And I had the biggest meltdown like of volcanic proportions of, oh dear God, I've ruined everything. And I had less than 8 hours to fix it for Amazon Kindle, or face not being able to have pre-orders for a year, and also having the wrong version of the book go out to everyone because I would not have been able to change it after that night. So scrambled for my formatter, being like, oh my God, please help me. And they were awesome about it. They were able to help me very quickly. And then I uploaded it all. It was all sorted. It was all approved. So I ordered another round of author copies, so I could be able to give them out to like some early ARC reviewers, to family members, etc., etc., etc. And then those author copies came on Thursday, so that was the 18th. And when they arrived, I opened them up and I double checked it to make sure, and they were still wrong. They were still showing the wrong version. And I had a huge breakdown, like hysterical sobbing. I'd already hysterically sobbed on Tuesday, but it was like next level. So I called my sister. She came over straight away. I could not breathe. I was like, it was awful. It was terrible. I was talking to the company, trying to figure out what was going on. And they had no idea what had fully happened. I'd eventually heard from like a secondary person after that first dealing of what had happened. And then I found out that it would be fixed. So if I ordered another copy that day, it would be the correct version, because apparently it takes 24 hours after the approval, which was something I had not been told, so I was not aware. And then I started to panic that everything was going to be wrong. I had no idea if the Kindle version was going to be the same with that. So I posted on social media, if people follow me on there, being like, hey, so there's some problems. Hopefully things will work out. I'll let you all know. And so today, that new copy came, and it has the correct inside information. Thank God. And yeah, so it was just terrible. Now, the only additional thing is I am still somewhat worried, because my anxiety is a bitch, that all the copies that are going out to establishments like Waterstones, etc., is going to be wrong, because I'm not going to be able to see that until Monday, which is also terrifying to think. So everything else is fine. It's just ones that are going to bookstores that I have no idea about. But thankfully, they don't go to bookstores just like automatically. Like the bookstores have to order them in if someone else has ordered them. So if you have ordered a book to your retail store, either hold off on it at the moment, or if you're a considerer, either hold off on it for the moment, or that, I don't know, probably just hold off on it for the moment, just in general. And I will be announcing stuff on Monday or Tuesday and being like, hey, it's all good. You can order stuff from bookstores, etc., etc., and it should be fine. Hopefully, we'll see. Like, I see no reason why it'd be wrong. But with everything that happened with this other company, I'm leaving up nothing to chance. But we're just keeping everything crossed. But as you may all tell, it has been just a very stressful week. But thankfully, it is out in the world. It's correct on Amazon. It's correct on all ebook platforms. So the anxiety has lessened. It is not as high as it was before. But either way, I'm going to have a lot to fucking say about everything that's happened this week in therapy this coming Thursday. So the irony of the fact that literally the day that the second wrong copies came on Thursday was the day I'd been in therapy, and saying to her, you know, it will probably be fine. I just need to see it with my own eyes and it'll be all good. And then literally 4 hours after my therapy session ended, the wrong copies arrived and I broke down. And my parents came home from holiday because I was breaking down. It was just a whole thing. Hi dear, hello. Thank you for coming. It's just, yeah. So that was the palaver that was this week. Very adventurous. A lot to deal with. But it's here and it's fine. I'm relatively fine. It's all fine. I just why do I feel like the dog sat in fire, being like, it's fine, I'm fine. Because like it is. Like the ebook's fine. I checked the Kindle literally at 1 minute past midnight. I checked my Kindle. I checked my Apple Books. It's like, yeah, that's fine there, thank God. This came today, it's like, that's fine there, thank God. It's literally just Waterstones now. Where I'm just like, please, Waterstones, please. It's been a lot, people. But it's here. Home to the Wild, the first book in the Into the Wild series, or the first novel at least. Because obviously, short stories don't count as books. The first novel of the Into the Wild series is out in the world. It's on paperback. It's on ebooks. It's eventually going to be on audiobook, but probably not for a while. I'm very sorry about that. And yeah, my dream has literally come true. Oh my God, my dream has literally come true. My dream has literally come true. The book that I've been dreaming about for nearly a decade, being an author and having a book out in the world, a dream I've been having since I was 10, has come true. Holy shit. Oh my God. Wow. I don't think that's even fully sunk in. Like, even me saying it now, I'm like, nah. I'm imagining it all. Like, wow, that's a feeling. Maybe it was thinking when I know that it's fine with Waterstones. I don't know. Maybe I'll never see. This is a situation. Oh, hey, it's my bestie. Hey, Chloe. So proud of you. Thank you. I don't think I believe it. I don't think I believe it at all. I think I'm coming to the realization now. I don't believe that this is out. I don't believe this is in the world. Oh God, I think I'm crazy. I think I've actually gone crazy. Oh my God, it's been a week. It's been oh God. Yeah. I think I'm going down the madness route. I don't believe it's real. Hello, sister. Hello. I thought you were actually my sister for a second then. I was like, wait, Melissa. Hi. Yeah. I don't think I believe this is real, but maybe eventually I will, and maybe then I'll like cry. But wow, this is my book, Home to the Wild, out on all platforms right now. If you enjoy wolves, Tarzan-like vibes, found family, and just wholesomeness, be sure to check it out. From Chloe, I feel like as soon as you see it in physical shops, you'll be like, oh my God, it's a real book. Probably. I feel like that's going to be where it is. Or just seeing, I don't even know who knows is what's going to be the thing that like sets me off and be like, oh shit, it's real. But when that day comes, that's going to be an interesting day. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, Home to the Wild, out in the world right now. I think I need to have a nap at this point. I know it's like nearly 10 o'clock at night, but that's just go to bed, isn't it? It's not having a nap. Yeah, I feel like I need to process this because I have not processed this. But yeah, be sure to go grab your copy of Home to the Wild. Leave reviews on Goodreads, Amazon, or wherever you've bought it from. And I hope you enjoy wolf families. I think I'm going to go now because I think I'm like high on like life. Or drunk on achievement, as August says. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy Home to the Wild. And have a great rest of your weekend. And I think the crash is going to hit me and it's going to be a wild ride. So maybe I'll film that for you guys. Be like, oh my God, it's out. It's real. But yeah, have a great rest of your night. And thank you for tuning in. Bye, everyone.